I am a sharpshooter, married in a whirlwind for 3 years, yet never once dared to meet my wife. White Frost face to face. That reunion. I was at a bar trailing a beautiful girl to get her contact. She knew it. If never had a wife since I was young. Suddenly a girl at the next table sneered coldly. Her name was Circle. Was my marriage certificate issued with a dog? That tone, why so familiar? It sent a shiver down my spine. Taking a closer look, my wife, who had been abroad for 3 years, with a not-so-pleasant temperament, seemed to have returned. My best friend got dumped. He was sobbing pathetically in the bar, begging the heavens to grant him a girlfriend. I can't bear the pain of heartbreak anymore. He pointed to a distance not far away, a long-legged girl sitting in the shadows, pleading with me to help him, to get her contact for him. I yawned, not budging. I'm a man of morals. After all, I'm married. Though after the wedding I never saw my wife again. My best friend looked at me lamenting there were no girls. I want to get back with my ex. A few minutes later, I took my friend's phone. Smiling, I tapped the girl's back. She turned around and I said, "Hello, beauty. Mind adding me on Green Bubble?" I asked politely. She lowered her eyes, catching my gaze hidden behind gold-rimmed glasses. Dark, unreadable. My friend's taste was sharp. This girl, just one look and you could tell she was mature, elegant, with a demeanor that didn't fit the noisy environment. Since she walked in, she sat in a dim corner, occasionally tilting her head to chat with someone nearby. Her gestures and words refined, polite. Sorry, no Green Bubble. She flatly rejected me, her faint brows like morning mist, impossible to grasp. Laughter rippled around. White Frost is cold as ice. I was determined to help my friend score big, so I held up the phone, looking at her obediently. She knew it. If never had a wife since I was young. Seeing me so pitiful, she narrowed her eyes, starting to watch me sob pathetically, but remained utterly unmoved. I felt a pang of guilt. This trick worked on everyone else. Why didn't it work on her? Suddenly, a glint caught my eye. An expensive necklace drew my attention, a limited edition spring piece from a famous brand. A few months ago, I bid for it and sent it to Europe to bond with my cheap wife and assure her to focus on work abroad. I'm a sharpshooter, so I didn't visit her. But at this moment, that necklace rested neatly on the girl's neck. So familiar. I suddenly had a bad feeling. People around laughed. White Frost, didn't you say your husband's a sharpshooter? Look at how lively he is. The lights mixed with shadows fell on White Frost's profile, adding a touch of gloom. I turned to flee. Halfway, someone grabbed me, pulling me back. Her voice was icy, slow and deliberate. Circle, you've never had a wife since you were young. So my marriage certificate was issued with a dog. Dragged into the crowd, I realized they were a group discussing business. You like shooting but come to a place like this to play. White Frost, with time to spare, began taking care of me thoroughly. I shook my head like waves crashing. No way. It's my first time here. If White Frost found out I was spending her card freely in the country, living carefree, would she kill me? Mr. Circle, we meet again. Where's that girlfriend from last time? Suddenly someone patted my shoulder warmly. It was the bar owner. My hand trembled. Stammering, I pointed at him. Don't talk nonsense. The bar owner said something, quickly covering his mouth. White Frost suddenly smiled, placed a stack of cash on the table. What else did he spend on? Spill it. The owner grinned ear to ear. Just called a few models. White Frost's lips curved slightly, the kind of models that suit sharpshooters. Traitor. On the way home, White Frost ignored me, sitting in the car facing her tablet revising contracts. I babbled nonstop beside her. Last time I called models for my friend, and that girl was my friend's sister. A cute little sister who calls me brother. White Frost lowered her head, her expression unreadable. Her slender fingers tapped on the laptop, her voice like a death charm, making my heart race. I was a bit scared. Pulled out my phone to call for help. Found the group chat exploding. Over a dozen voice messages flooding the screen. I grimaced, pressing the phone to my ear. I bet a dime Circle will get her Green Bubble. He just said, this girl has the face of a future with lots of kids. One-night twins aren't a dream. I was about to tell them they got the wrong person. when I noticed the car's atmosphere turned strange. White Frost stared at me coldly, her thin lips pursed tightly, her anger barely contained. Half an hour ago I was loud. My schemes blared through the phone's speaker, every word clear as day. KKK, this girl is too beautiful. A gift for you guys. The driver quietly raised the partition. In the cramped, dark space, White Frost set down her tablet. Lots of kids. She repeated my words emotionless. Circle with such great fortune, why not take it? I trembled, curling up near the door's edge. Frail body, I don't dare. White Frost removed her glasses, leaned back in her seat sighing. Just when I thought she was older and wouldn't bother with me anymore, she suddenly pulled me over, pinning me on her lap. Smiling coldly, she ordered, "Take off your jacket. Dare say no and it'll kill you." The car stopped in front of the old white family house. The village lights blazed brightly in the night. I followed White Frost out of the car. My clothes were strewn messily in her car. She glanced at me, gently reminding, "Button your vest properly." Humph, I thought she'd gone wild. Turns out she was bringing me to a family dinner. As the door opened, a young man stood there. "Sister Frost, you're back." White Frost's stepfather smiled, explaining, "I heard you were back. Crane Strong insisted on coming to see you." Crane Strong was the son of White Frost's stepfather from his previous marriage, quite close with the White family elders. Rumor had it, the White family strongly supported a marriage between White Frost and Crane Strong. Then Crane Strong went to Europe to study literature, and the matter fizzled out. But some said, after marrying me, White Frost went to Europe the next day to chase after him. Did she return with him this time? White Frost's stepfather pulled out a chair. "Crane Strong, come here. Let Sister Frost sit beside you." White Frost was about to call me, but saw my eyes light up. Like a ghost drifting over, "Is there food? I'm starving," and plopped down next to Crane Strong. Now only one seat remained, across from me and Crane Strong. White Frost's stepfather was a bit awkward. Had to let White Frost sit beside him, while I sat across from White Frost wolfing down food. At the table, the elders praised Crane Strong's academic success. "Crane Strong, are you staying in the country this time?" He spoke with hidden meaning, shyly glancing at White Frost. White Frost ate quietly, occasionally chatting with her father about business matters, as if she didn't hear. Then he spoke again, and took my favorite small pastry, swapped it to Crane Strong's side, giving me a plate of bright green stir-fried veggies. The table fell silent. Only the clink of plates remained. I was about to open my mouth to curse, but my fork fell to the floor. Bending down, I saw Crane Strong's shoes, reaching toward White Frost's dress, openly cheating right under my nose. Trust me, I took a deep breath and boldly touched White Frost's thigh. White Frost's chopsticks suddenly fell into her plate, though we weren't that close. This move was a bit abrupt, but who cares? "White Frost, what's wrong?" Facing my malicious question, White Frost's expression didn't change nothing. I grinned, chewing a piece of bread, my hand sliding higher. White Frost's face stiffened. She looked up coldly, staring at me. "Circle, are you done eating?" I blinked. Taking a break, I smirked. Crane Strong shifted behind her. I shifted in response. White Frost's face darkened. Finally, she suddenly clamped my hand. No matter how I pulled, it wouldn't budge. Now it was my turn to panic, glaring at her. "Circle, why aren't you eating?" White Frost asked with interest. "Something bothering you?" "No," I gritted my teeth, still keeping a polite smile. The next second, the hand under the table got bolder. White Frost gritted her teeth. "Can't you behave for once?" Seeing my wide grin, White Frost suddenly let go, standing up. "I'm done. Take your time," and with the family watching, she hurriedly went upstairs. Crane Strong dropped his chopsticks, chasing after her. "White Frost, I have something for you." He followed her into the study. "White Frost, I have something for you." I lay in the bedroom, mocking to my friend, "If you like him so much, why marry me?" The group chat exploded with opinions. "He's provoking you, showing off his charm, saying with this move he can win over tons of guys. Open marriage, he doesn't lose a thing. To make you respect him more." I shot up from the bed. "So what do I do?" The group gritted their teeth, win him over. Wait till he falls for you, then dump him hard. A few minutes later, I sneaked into the study, gently pushing the door open a crack. Dim light spilled through. White Frost sat at the computer as if in a meeting. The faint blue glow illuminated her beautiful face. The headset buzzed with my friend's chatter. Circle, don't be scared. Go for it. My 8-pack ABS were out cool to the touch. If I can't take her down, all these years were a waste. I gritted my teeth, boldly pushing the door. It slammed against the wall, making a heavy thud, drawing her attention. White Frost's gaze landed on my outfit. Her eyes darkened slightly. Circle. What's up? I stopped pretending, cleared my throat, and strode in confidently. Sitting at her desk, secretly scanning the room, White Frost leaned casually on a cushion, her gentle gaze tinged with scrutiny. Testing me, I sat beside her, touching her thigh. Grinning, CEO White. Let's negotiate something. White Frost's eyes flicked to my hand, calmly saying, go ahead. Since we're not that familiar, I see no need to keep getting to know each other. How about we each play our own game? The room fell silent. White Frost's expression didn't change. Her voice soft, so soft. What did you just say? Afraid she didn't hear, I raised my voice. I said, let's each play our own game. The next second, someone pushed the door open behind me. White Frost, I was thinking about tomorrow's board meeting. Mother White's voice caught in her throat. White Frost instantly pulled me close. The desk just hid my hand. Mom, why are you here? The sudden silence made the atmosphere painfully awkward. I was so scared my mind went blank, wanting to crawl into a crack in the floor. Don't expect me to explain. I'm a sharpshooter, I can't explain. Mother White cleared her throat. I had something to discuss, but it seems inconvenient. White Frost nestled into me, facing my flushed ears, a glint of amusement in her eyes. Mom, I called him here. She took the blame. Mother White absent-mindedly scratched her head. Young people are so passionate, but be mindful of the setting. Circle's still young. Don't keep teasing him. White Frost nodded seriously. Won't happen again. Mother White left quickly. The room returned to silence. White Frost's burning warmth seeped through her dress, transmitting bit by bit. This position was a bit suggestive. Especially the sensation below made me move. After a while, her soft laughter came from above. You love showing off your ABS. Is teasing me that fun? In her laughter, I fled in a panic. The next day, I hid in my downtown apartment. Unexpectedly, White Frost's assistant knocked on the door. She placed clean clothes in the master bedroom. Smiling, CEO White bought you some shirts. She said you'd know what to do. My face flushed red. I stuffed them all under the bed. Actually, today I had to attend a book signing. 3 years ago, egged on by netizens, I casually wrote a short essay of a few hundred words. My online writing career took off. To date, I've written over 6 million words. Of course, there's a secret White Frost can't know. I once used both our names to write a novel, still topping the completed works chart. Searching White Frost's name online yields not just her personal info, but also news of her being voted the most alluring female lead in novels. Who knew a random story would rocket her to the rankings? Luckily, White Frost doesn't care about this. If nothing goes wrong, she'll probably never know in her lifetime. The signing was held in the bustling city center, the venue packed with fans. Besides the signing, the organizers set aside time for fan interaction. As White Frost led a commercial inspection team passing by, my young fan excitedly asked husband, when will the book about White Frost be published? I smiled brightly. It's being edited, waiting for the right moment. What a coincidence! Looking up, I saw White Frost on the second floor, her gaze deep, listening intently to my speech. Though so far away, I could almost see her eyebrow twitch. My heart skipped a beat. This secret might not stay hidden. The fan group brought manga adaptations of the female lead White Frost, and even fan fiction, demanding I publicly read and comment. White Frost stood there hearing it all. As the interview ended, I bolted. On the way home, I got a message from my manager, Peach. You got exposed. Exposed for what? Crane Strong's fans say you plagiarized him. Crane Strong was a rising star in online literature during a low-traffic period. With humorous stories, he shot to the top tier of authors. Not long ago, he quietly borrowed the White Frost character into his book and copied key plot points. Before I could claim my rights, his fans found clues. This crowd didn't even check creation dates, blindly accusing me of plagiarism with comparisons. Peach sneered. Right now, Hayes probably scared stiff by his own fans. I shut down. Peach said don't be mad. The tide's turning in our favor. Watching the trending searches soar, I got a headache. Why now of all times? Fame like this. Can my secret stay hidden? Because White Frost caught wind of it. I sat in a cafe outside my house too scared to go home. Suddenly, a familiar voice came from behind. No way. I wouldn't dare compare to a senior. Turning around, I was shocked to see Crane Strong sitting with a few girls. The girl across from him was full of admiration. Husband Crane Strong, I think you write way better than Circle. Keep it up. Crane Strong's voice was gentle. This book's about to be published. I'll gift you a copy then. Awesome, thank you. I grabbed my coffee, approaching your Crane Strong. The girl looked annoyed. Who are you? I smiled lightly. I'm a fan of Circle. Turning to leave, a spot opened up and I sat across from Crane Strong. He smiled. Sorry, my fans have offended you lately. I hope you don't mind. I know you posted before me, but I've never read your work. He paused, laughing. Besides, some parts you wrote are pretty embarrassing. Not great if elders see it. I sneered. Then explain. Why? The female lead's growth process, family background, personality, even the details of her environment are identical to mine. Crane Strong got angry. You can use her as material. Others can't. I suddenly remembered. The male lead in Crane Strong's book studied abroad in Europe, secretly loved the female lead for over a decade, finally returned and got his wish. I lost interest in arguing with him. Before leaving, I said, Mr. Crane, me and White Frost divorcing is impossible. Stop dreaming too soon. Crane Strong's face paled with anger. Speechless. Back home, I locked myself in the study, opened both our works, reviewing the timeline, seeing my writing cleverly woven into his work. Even readers commented below, so good. The author crafted it meticulously. The best piece of read. I was furious, wanting to smash the computer. Gradually, it got late. White Frost pushed open the study door, seeing me listlessly staring at the screen, eyes red, muttering, those plagiarizing bastards, may you rot in the 18 levels of hell. She turned on the light, walking over. Circle, what's wrong? Seeing the real deal, I scrambled to shut off the computer. She stopped me with her hand. Why the panic? It's just writing me into a novel, worth staying up all night. She didn't snitch to my parents. Before the wedding, my dad warned me repeatedly. After marriage, don't, cause big trouble. If nothing goes wrong, White Frost will take care of you for life. Wanting for nothing, but am not clay to be molded. I've got my own hobbies and ideas. I stubbornly clutched the computer, saying, I got smeared. White Frost paused. By who? A few minutes later, White Frost sat at the computer, facing the dense comparison chart, deep in thought. The red-marked passages practically screamed, you're the female lead. I stood beside her like a guilty student, sitting upright, occasionally sneaking glances on White Frost's glasses, reflected lines of fierce, wolf-like words. Even I felt, making eyes used to reading business contracts. Read romantic literature was a bit of a waste. After a long while, White Frost gently removed her glasses, closed her eyes, rubbing her nose bridge. I cautiously said, maybe I'll handle it myself. No problem. White Frost opened her eyes, saying cryptically, I can handle it. Clearly, she couldn't handle the second half. Her eyes reddened at the corners, softly saying, make it spicier. Circle laughed. Don't you hate me flirting the most? Now you're telling me to spice it up. White Frost countered. Facing my panic, she said, relying on you. Might as well rely on myself. The study fell silent. I awkwardly pointed to Crane Strong's passage. Please mark the spicier parts. White Frost moved the cursor, slowly selecting, do you like it rougher? Fine by me. I organized the timeline. Online buzz began to ferment. Circle posted before Crane Strong. Why say Circle plagiarized? Heard Circle edited later copying Crane Strong. With pictures and proof. Crane Strong's fans somehow photoshopped image, spreading endlessly. No time to refute. Worse still, Crane Strong posted a status original creation is my bottom line. The female lead was adapted from personal experience with a real prototype. With that statement, soon enough, White Frost's real identity was dragged into the light. My classmate said, Crane Strong and White Frost graduated from the same high school. They broke up after college entrance exams. Turns out Crane Strong is White Frost's real male lead. Circle you thief. I was about to post our marriage certificate when I found my account banned from posting. Peach was furious on the phone. Those people play dirty. Mass reporting in a short time and you rarely post. Your account isn't highwayed, so the system mistakenly locked it. Won't be fixed by the weekend. Where do we find a big fan base account? To clear your name. Seeing myself trending. Called a pretty boy. Just indulging in fantasies. Some even stirred trouble under White Frost's Weibo, frenziedly posting excerpts I wrote in the comments. Heard the White group's legal team is top-notch. Circle loves you want you sue him. Causing trouble without explaining. What's Crane Strong to you? Childhood sweethearts. This soon alerted both families' elders. My mom called me instantly. What nonsense did you write? I didn't write nonsense. It's just a hobby. My mom cut me off without mercy. What decent guy spouts nonsense online? Your mother-in-law called me. Go explain this to White Frost clearly. She hung up angrily. My family's always been traditional. My parents busy with business since I was young. Only demanded I study well and stay out of trouble. No one cared what I liked or what I wanted to do in the future. During college entrance exams, they crossed out my beloved literature major, chose finance for me. I thought after marriage, leaving home would change things. I went to White Frost's company. She'd probably just finished a major meeting. Stepping out of the conference room, surrounded by a swarm of financial reporters. Somehow a tabloid reporter slipped in. I held up my phone cutting in CEO White about being written into a cheesy romance novel. What do you think? Will your legal team demand compensation? White Frost mid-sentence froze. The phone screen showed thousands of mocking comments. She glanced at the phone, then stared at the reporter. Security escorted her out. Joy stood at the door seeing me standing there feeling wronged. White Frost removed the mic from her jacket, walked through the crowd to me, naturally took my hand. Her entourage apologized. Family matters leaving early. She pulled me along, straight into her office. Near dusk, the blinds sliced the sunset into warm golden strips. White Frost led me to the sofa, turned to pour a glass of warm water. For stuff like this, just call me. What? She took her phone scrolling for something. Minutes later, my phone buzzed. A message notification. Just now. White Frost used her big account to publicly tag me. Status married. A short forceful response. Pinned atop her company's promotional posts and news. Almost instantly causing a storm online. Plot twist: White Frost and Circle are really a couple. My fans were moved to tears, tagging Crane Strong and Massey demanding an apology. Pining for a married woman, have you no shame? Crane Strong didn't respond to White Frost. Calmly grabbed his coat. What do you want to eat tonight? You're going home. White Frost smiled faintly, asking a married woman like me. If not home, where else? On the way back, White Frost drove. Rush hour heavy traffic. I sat in the passenger seat restless because my mom was calling White Frost. Phone on speaker. White Frost, sorry. We didn't discipline him well. White Frost glanced at the traffic ahead, her index finger lightly tapping the steering wheel, making a tap-tap sound. No need to explain. His liking it is what matters. The vibrant sunset burst like fireworks, spilling over her face. Her warm voice amid the noisy traffic eased the unease in my heart. I stared at White Frost, seeing the smile at her lips. Interesting things. If they vanish because no one supports them, I think that's a pity. My mom sighed. Social media is too complicated. The boy has no experience. I'm afraid without your protection, don't worry. I've got it covered. A surge of emotion welled up. Before it could overflow, it stopped. Wait, interesting things after she hung up. I hesitated, probing. You mean you're saying? White Frost calmly finished my sentence. You've read it all right. I shivered, hearing her add it's pretty good. Update it soon, husband. I quietly shrank into a corner, pulling out my phone. The group chat instantly went on alert. That night the group exploded again. Help. Why does she like reading your stuff? Reading to the climax, could she? I burrowed into the blankets. Don't ask, I don't want to know. We write novels, our pen names are our lives. Now my pen name's exposed and the real person knows. It's like I'm already dead. The group secretly suggested, if not, go for it. You're already married. Doing something isn't normal. After showering, I lay in bed thinking it over. As usual, White Frost would sleep in the study tonight. Really can't do anything. I shut up. Decided to talk to her. The study had a large glass window, neon lights glowing all night. When I pushed the door open, only a dim lamp was on. White Frost sat at the computer, the mouse wheel clicking softly. She looked up, her gaze distracted. Not sleeping yet. Her voice was light. I hesitated at the door. You're not sleeping either. She looked at me expressionless, but her eyes carried a hint of intrusion. I was so nervous my palms sweated. I just came to thank you. Came in to thank me. I meant to say it quick and slip back to my room. Now I had no excuse. Neon light pierced through the glass, outlining White Frost's elegant, alluring features. I stepped in, standing at a safe distance. White Frost removed her glasses, closed her eye circle. How do you plan to thank me? That question left me speechless, thinking of what the group said. I don't know where I got the courage. Showing off my 8-pack ABS. Thank you like this. They say it's the old trick repeated, but I felt it was just asking for humiliation. I really don't know how to seduce anyone. White Frost's gaze slowly swept over me, suddenly laughing circle. Is that your only move? She was mocking me. My face burned, unbearably embarrassed, wanting to run back to my room. Never listening to my dumb friends again. I'm leaving before I finished. White Frost suddenly threw herself into my arms. The next second, her scorching kiss landed on my ear. I like this self-sabotaging style. This doesn't break any rules, right? At that moment, I saw clearly the content on White Frost's computer. My cutout passage displayed on the screen. I panicked. How are you reading this? I'm a reader too. Why can't I read it? The night turned suggestive, relentlessly teasing sensitive nerves. Her arms wrapped around my neck, tugging my loose shirt tight. The room's atmosphere shifted, becoming hot, restless. White Frost, what are you doing? Her laughter slowly rose in the night. Husband, look at the screen. How you wrote it, I'll do it okay. In the dead of night, I recalled saying lots of kids about her. So angry, I passed out. The next day, White Frost handed the lawsuit to her legal team. I sat in the meeting room, facing the elite, looking at the colorful comparison chart. We all fell silent. Sorry. I didn't mean to roll over their faces. Over and over. White Frost remained calm. Handle it quickly. In just a few days, my novel hit trending again. But this time, netizens treated it like technical literature. Does White Frost really know how to tie wrists? Truly the queen of the rankings. Plays for real. Author, please write more. I want to know what you to do daily. Days after signing the legal mandate, Crane Strong received a lawyer's letter. For plagiarism, I sued him. His ongoing film and TV rights deals were paused. A week later, at a collaboration meeting outside a publisher's office, I ran into Crane Strong, his documents scattered on the floor. The top sheet boldly bore Crane Strong's pen name. I ignored him, turned to leave. He called after me. I admit she helped you a lot, but if she knew I was the one sued, guess what she'd do? Facing my puzzled look, Crane Strong suddenly pulled out his phone, called White Frost. When the call connected, he burst into pitiful sobs. Sister Frost, I never told you. Everything in the book is true. I've loved you secretly for years. Don't sue me, please. What White Frost said, I don't know. Crane Strong hung up, smirking at me full. I glared, ignoring him. That day after the collaboration talk, I habitually checked my phone, went to White Frost's homepage. The married status from before was suddenly gone, along with the lawyer's letter on the law firm's page. Also vanished. This was hotly discussed recently. Almost as soon as it was deleted, someone started a new thread. What's going on? Trouble in Paradise. I said it was a stunt, based on the two books' content. Crane Strong and White Frost are childhood sweethearts. He went abroad to study. White Frost love unfulfilled, chose a family alliance. Posted the statement recently to pressure Crane Strong to submit. The guy above read to many romance novels. Art comes from reality. I closed the app. Called White Frost. Her assistant answered. Mr. Circle CEO White just stepped out in a rut. Didn't bring her phone. Anything you want to say to her? I can pass it on. No need. I calmly pocketed my phone, took a few steps. Suddenly turned back, hailed a taxi. Went straight to White Frost's company. Storming in with such force no one dared stop me. I burst into White Frost's office. Give me her phone. The assistant holding a hot potato handed it over. I tried several passwords. Even White Frost's birthday. My birthday, none worked. I gave up. Returned the phone to the assistant. Under her puzzled gaze, I texted Peach. Aren't we going out of town for an event? Let's go now. That night Peach and I soaked in a 5-star hotel pool. He eyed the beautiful girls by the poolside sighing. You just ran off like that. Didn't we say to communicate properly during conflicts? I sipped a cocktail, lazily sprawled on a rock. I can't stoop that low. I meant to storm into White Frost's office. Demand answers. But she wasn't there. Like punching cotton. Once I calmed down, I couldn't ask anymore. Peach sighed twice. You don't want to admit you like her, right? I muttered something sappy. If she really deleted the status for Crane Strong, asking now would be so humiliating. Might as well live freely. As long as I don't admit it. I won't be the one embarrassed. Peach's expression was complex. You're married and you're saying this. A wave of grievance hit. I angrily splashed water, emboldened by liquor. We're just normal friends. No different from anyone else. I pointed at the girls playing in the water nearby. Marrying White Frost is no different from marrying a random girl. Peach fell silent. More precisely, he slowly shifted his gaze behind me, as if overshadowed by someone. Looking up, I faced a familiar face. Gentle yet seductive. White Frost, weary from travel. Still in her coat. Standing on the poolside behind me. With a chilling smile. White Frost, expressionless, dragged me away. Peach gave me a good luck look, silently diving to the pool's bottom. Once in the room, White Frost threw me onto the bed, silently began stripping my coat. As I struggled, she used my tie to bind me tightly. Drunk, I collapsed on the bed, letting her do as she pleased. Circle, can't you remember a bit longer? White Frost with a punishing tone bit my ear, tearing gently. Remember what? I mumbled. White Frost coldly asked, didn't I tell you? The phone password is our anniversary. Anniversary what? Password what? Suddenly a phone was shoved into my hand. White Frost exhaled, ordering. Enter the password, get it wrong, and you're not sleeping tonight. Then I realized it was her phone. Cold sweat drenched my back. Damn it, the anniversary, she did mention it. But when? White Frost seemed to see my struggle, smiling lightly, like pronouncing a death sentence. Gritting her teeth, 1014. I shakily entered the password. Clicked the phone, unlocked successfully. My legs went weak. The screen showed a warning notification. Due to comments violating community guidelines, content has been removed and blocked. Please process comments per regulations and file a complaint. White Frost, as if hating my failure to improve. If you just remembered our anniversary, or waited for me to finish company business and come back, you wouldn't have said such nonsense tonight. I shakily opened the comment section, nearly tripping over the content. I didn't expect. The opponent played dirty, hiring trolls, posting pornographic comments, causing White Frost's and the legal team's posts to be locked in the dark pool. The married announcement. was naturally blocked, not displayed. But Crane Strong called you right in front of me, and you went out. I thought mentioning Crane Strong would soften her tone. The assistant told me. This morning a man called, crying his eyes out. Even she didn't understand what he was saying. White Frost said coldly, feeling wrong. Find a lawyer. Why come to me? I blocked him. I eagerly checked the call history. Among the dense list of names, one note was merciless. This crying guy is him. White Frost didn't even look, don't remember. I opened my phone to compare. It was indeed Crane Strong's number. White Frost turned off the light, leaving only the bedside lamp circle. Let's continue where we left off. I clutched my chest. My heart hurts. White Frost laughed. What's hurting you? I racked my brain, suddenly turning the tables. Can't blame me for misunderstanding. You gave someone pastries at the dinner. When did I give anyone pastries? That family dinner. White Frost thought. You mean I swapped okra for you? I don't even remember what it was. I don't like veggies. White Frost was silent for a long time. Her voice soft. Be good. Stop talking. I'm afraid you'll anger me to an early grave. Hey, explain clearly. White Frost hugged me tightly. Her misty glasses reflected her dreamy eyes. Suddenly something flashed in my mind. One spring, White Frost was abroad, unable to return. She called me first. This year I have a friend returning. The pastries here aren't bad. Can bring some back for you. How did I respond then? Laughed. I don't like sweets. Got any okra there? White Frost mused. Not easy to bring back. You'll have someone deliver it to you. I was just being polite. But White Frost remembered. She sneered. Circle. I deliberately put okra in front of you. This is how you repay me. I shrank back, wanting to run. She locked me in, teaching me all night. By dawn, White Frost finished reading the last note on her phone. Last year you said you didn't like fluffy toys. Right or not? I panted. Lying gets punished. No need to say more. Right. Right. Start. The next day I was woken by urgent knocking. Peach burst in. The author conference is about to start. Why are you still sleeping? I blushed. Legs weak. Opened the door. White Frost was leisurely pouring me milk. Peach paused, smirking. I get it, no rush. Ms. White joining us later. White Frost smiled. Doesn't seem fitting. I grabbed the bread on the table. Kissed White Frost. I'm off. White Frost happened to have business here for a few days. She'd return with me after the event. At the event it was chaos. Circle and Crane Strong appearing together. Dramas brewing. Sure enough, not far away, I saw Crane Strong surrounded by fans. He reveled in the adulation. Before the event started, he was interacting with the live stream audience. No plagiarism here. Publishing and film rights are proceeding as normal. Not affected. I looked at Peach skeptically. He said awkwardly, Circle, you know. After the comparison chart went up, fans on both sides fought harder. Investors saw the buzz and bought in. Nowadays, as long as it makes money, who cares about plagiarism? Despicable thieves, as long as they're famous. Someone always defends them. I took a deep breath. So he plagiarizes and that's it. Peach pulled me to sit. Don't rush. Ms. White's legal team is top-notch. Maybe we'll win, but lawsuits aren't quick. By the time we win, the plagiarist has made money. A few thousand in compensation is a drop in the bucket for them. The platform, as if the chaos wasn't enough, deliberately seated me next to Crane Strong. We faced each other. He smiled brightly. I got a fortune reading recently. They said my time's coming. See, hasn't it started? I sat beside him, whispering whether it's publishing or film adaptation. If you pull off either, I lose. What do you rely on? I propped my chin, blinking. I rely on money. Money makes you great. Crane Strong, unconvinced, sat beside me, arms crossed, pretending to greet readers politely. I joined in, waving, whispering money is pretty great. Until the author conference ended, people didn't get the fight they expected. Instead, a photo of us laughing together hit trending. Comments buzzed below. What's this? Made peace. Maybe smiling upfront. Stabbing each other in the back. Crane Strong daring to provoke. Circle is bold. Circle's backed by the White family. Real capital. Our circle's pretty great too. After the event, I got in the car, rubbing my sore ankles. Called White Frost. The call connected instantly. It was noisy. Where are you? Business dinner. I thought, then asked, is the boss of Fake Action Entertainment there? White Frost seemed to search. Answered yes, just asking casually. I hit the jackpot. Wait for me, I'm coming. Peach rolled up his sleeves, pulled out a thick stack of documents. Let's get to work. Time to ruin him. The dinner was lively. White Frost spotted me almost immediately. I walked over. Where's the guy? White Frost looked across there. The boss of Fake Action Entertainment. Book Complete was holding a glass sitting on a sofa, her gaze fixed on a young man nearby, her eyes darkening. I stepped forward, blocking her view. Something up. Book Complete withdrew her gaze, asking. I placed the thick documents in front of her. Ms. Book, I'm here to discuss collaboration. She glanced at the titles of the two books, smiled. Sorry, I'm not interested in your internal disputes. Besides, this book isn't valued by the market, but it has some market value. If no reason to refuse. I know about the plagiarism. It's not a stain in your circle. But what if the author's the problem? Book Complete narrowed her eyes. What do you mean? I smiled. Ms. Book. Crane Strong publicly claimed. This book used my wife as a prototype for creation. I showed a printed chat from a fan infiltrator. Crane Strong admitted this to a 500-person group. And in the book, some parts harmed my wife's reputation. I'll pursue it to the end. Book Complete pondered. Softly said, we have editors. We can fully revise. You suing the author doesn't seem to affect us. I widened my eyes. True. But for the next 6 months, well, keep suing to cases. If it drags long enough, it'll take 1 to 2 years. Every 3 to 4 months. It'll push him to trending once. Each time, it'll reveal new plagiarism evidence. Trouble your editing team to revise the script for 2 years. Then start pre-production. By the time it premieres, it'll be about for years. Your company's wealthy. Of course, you're not afraid of trouble. Book Complete laughed. You're determined to ruin this. I smiled. Bullied got event. Book Complete finally gave in. It's just one project. If it's too much trouble, avoiding it is wise. The publisher was easier. Peach spread insider news. The publisher canceled the deal without hesitation. Book Complete backed out. Other investors, unclear on the situation, didn't dare jump in. Peach and I happily drank in a corner. By the time White Frost arrived, I was drunk. On the way back to the hotel, I scrolled through Book Complete's social circle. That guy looks familiar. Right, it's the youngest son of the Promise family. He was engaged to someone before, but the way he's acting looks like Book Complete's cutting into a romance. I read eagerly. White Frost glanced at me. I leaned unsteadily on her shoulder, giggling. Help me dig a bit more. White Frost laughed at my teasing. Can't dig now, so what? I grabbed her hand, pulled it toward me, then scratched my itch. White Frost gently turned off the tablet beside us. The surroundings sank into darkness. Her slender fingers grazed my ABS, slowly sliding up. Still itchy, I boldly rubbed against her. Scratch more, scratch more. White Frost's voice was low, elegant. You've worn this outfit long enough. I only wore it for a bit. White Frost didn't waste words. Drunkards don't get a say. Gossip about Book Complete I didn't hear in the end. Days later, due to Crane Strong's work losing commercial value and mired in plagiarism scandals, the platform blocked his work. Many gathered under the post to watch the drama. So it really was plagiarism, still denying it boldly. Where are Crane Strong's fans? Come take the hit. You're just your master's clueless dogs. Crane Strong deleted the messy post, still didn't apologize. That day, when White Frost and I went to the old White family house for dinner, her stepfather still sighed, saying Crane Strong grew up with you. Isn't this too harsh? White Frost poured vinegar, silent. I was just high school classmates with him. If Dad likes him, invite him over for dinner, I don't mind. If Dad thinks he's better family than Circle, I suggest Dad divorce Mom and move out to live with Crane Strong. Mother White lowered her head, sipping soup. Her stepfather's face shifted between green and white, not daring to say more. On the way back, I was full of doubts if not for Crane Strong. Why'd you go to Europe right after marrying? White Frost side work. The overseas market was fiercely competitive then. To expand the business map, I had to go. So that's why you stayed 3 years and didn't come back. White Frost smiled faintly. Be good. Want to talk about okra or your flimsy lies? Fine. I admit not coming back was partly because of you. The next day, Crane Strong stormed into my office. Circle, your tactics are filthy. If not for security stopping him, he'd have slapped me. I shrugged, no choice. Seeing a thief act smug, I couldn't stand it. Crane Strong nearly roared. It's clearly because you're not good enough. You're jealous of me. I sneered. Jealous of what? Your stellar plagiarism skills. If you've got the guts, write something that blows people away. I won't touch you for months. Months later, Crane Strong wrote a book with good results. Seeing the soaring data, Peach sighed. Gotta say, your sworn enemy has some skill. My roommate clicked into his new chapter. It just doesn't feel like his style. Sure enough, days later, an unknown author stepped forward. Passersby helped me judge. Author Crane Strong copied, then edited. I caught him. He promised half the insurance money. Now I haven't got a cent. Living in a rented room, barely affording food. This time no one defended Crane Strong. The internet erupted in curses. No wonder Circle exposed him repeatedly, gathering all the hot topics. How could he not get famous? This industry's rotten rat get lost. After the incident, Crane Strong quickly deleted the new book and posted a status, apologizing for harming the new author. Transferred all compensation to him. Someone dug up his earlier claim. Original creation is my bottom line. Comments mocked wildly. Where's your face? Your bottom line pierced Earth's core. Crane Strong's status stopped there. At the same time, my novel got published. The signing event was packed. I was swamped. No time for water. Finally, during a break, I hugged a small pastry crouching in a corner, eating while calling White Frost. You should come with me today. After all, you're the female lead. White Frost, taking a break, replied, eat slowly. Save me half the pastry. Sure. Halfway through, my vision darkened. Suddenly, a person in a cap stood before me. What do you want? He abruptly raised a water bottle, pouring it over my head. Circle, go die. The cold liquid drenched me. Everyone was stunned by the incident. News I'd read before flashed through my mind. A terrifying thought hit. Sulfuric acid amid the screams. I dove into the lobby's reception hall, into the central fountain. When White Frost arrived at the hospital, her face dark as if dripping water. My hand was bandaged, eyes red, curled up on the bed. Peach blew on it. Does it hurt? Let me blow. Stop acting cute, your wife's here. I saw White Frost approach the bed, carefully pulling the blanket over my head. What did the doctor say? Fractured forearm. Conservative treatments enough, no big issue. So what did he splash? Mineral water, Peach sighed. Just a scare. The worst injury was from falling and breaking his arm. I didn't know the fountain was so shallow. Dove-in hard washed off the liquid, but ruined my arm. As expected, the video of me diving into the fountain's online. Peach left. Only the two of us remained in the room. White Frost sat beside me, pulled off my blanket, hiding for what afraid ill laugh. She looked at my wrist. Though the outcome looks silly, your decision was right. I think there was no better way than jumping into the fountain. Hearing her praise, my eyes lit up. Come lie with me. White Frost, clean and fragrant, carried a unique scent. She laughed at my teasing, kissed me. Rest a few days. Leave the rest to me. Days later, I was discharged. White Frost rarely gave herself a break, staying home with me. That day, leaning on White Frost, I scrolled my phone, found a trending topic about Crane Strong, reporting he was suspected of commercial fraud and arrested. What's this? White Frost peeled an apple for me. The water splasher was a longtime reader of Crane Strong. I saw screenshots of their chats. I'm so upset for you, great author. Crane Strong, I had no choice. Big Tree catches the wind, easy to be envied. Where's his signing today? Blue Bay Plaza, I think. Great author, wait, I'll avenge you. Crane Strong sent a dog emoji. Thanks, he panicked. Posted a clarification. I thought it was a joke. Didn't expect him to do it. I oppose all illegal acts. Please go easy. Comments cursed wildly, you're both vile and stupid. Not even saying if the fan's act was right or wrong. When trouble hits you, blame others. Disgusting. Cursing you. White Frost took my phone. Crane Strong called a few times, I didn't answer. Blocked him. Even a fool could guess what he wants. Just wants me to clear his name. Forgive him. But he once wished me harm. Even injury. Such a person doesn't deserve forgiveness. Days later, Crane Strong deleted his account. Vanished from sight. Heard he was sued by more authors. This time over a dozen plaintiffs. Compensation enough to bankrupt him. That summer transitioning to fall was long and repetitive. But luckily the story had a happy ending. As fall arrived, my novel was a hit. My arm cast came off. White Frost took me to Europe for a vacation. Standing in her office from 3 years ago, I noticed a mall across the street, named with my initials. When did you build this? I leaned on the glass window, turning to ask White Frost. She casually removed her watch, tossing it on the desk. Started planning before the wedding. Before the wedding that early. White Frost walked over, pressing close behind me. Meant to be a first-year anniversary surprise. Didn't expect to show you now. She gently kissed my fingers, pinning me against the glass. Said, this mall is yours. My ears burned. Why'd you do that? Because I love you. White Frost bit my earlobe, hearing my ragged breaths. Growing bolder. From the first time I saw you, I wanted you all to myself. First time. Recalling that dull matchmaking party. Nothing seemed special. Maybe her taste is just that unique. The sunset brought a dazzling, enchanting dusk. White Frost said nothing, leaving me in intense joy, only able to beg helplessly. Panting, clouds were suddenly swallowed by the horizon. Her deep voice whispered in my ear, Jitaimi. Je suis amoureux de toi. One sentence stirred a long-buried memory. Sophomore year of college, I joined an exchange program. Went to France for 3 months. I didn't know French then, but my friend dragged me to a small bar. He pointed at the woman at the counter. Said, say one sentence to the owner. She'll give you a free drink. I asked what to say. He laughed, Jitaimi, je suis amoureux de toi. It means I really like this place. I poked White Frost at the counter, smiling, saying that line. A glint of surprise flashed in her eyes. She waved for the bartender, handed me an orange juice, whispered a French phrase in my ear. Seeing I didn't understand, she switched to English, only orange juice tonight. Because of this special encounter, I felt fond of her. After classes, I drink orange juice there, waving at White Frost, saying I really like this place. Then studies got busy. I stopped going. That little story was quickly forgotten. Until today, my French has improved a bit. So when White Frost said that, I was utterly defeated, completely crushed. Couldn't even stand steady. White Frost chuckled circle. This time you must understand the meaning. Jitaimi, je suis amoureux de toi isn't I really like this place. It's I think I'm in love with you. I spent a whole week smiling and confessing to White Frost, then vanished without a trace. Until 3 years ago, meeting her again at the matchmaking. This romantic encounter finally continued.